Good evening, Senator Dave Cortese. First of all, congratulations on your new role. I am one of your constituents and I'm here to share my story with you. I'm a parent at Linda Vista, at the Linda Vista Center here in East San Jose in the Alum Rock area. My name is Yara Hidalgo. I was born in Mexico and raised in East San Jose. Education has always been an important aspect of my life. My parents brought me to the United States as a 2-year-old looking for the American dream, where opportunities for a better education would be more accessible. That American dream became a reality when I earned a full ride scholarship to attend Loyola Marymount University and acquired my bachelor's degree. As a DACA recipient, I've been able to obtain a work permit to fulfill my career as a teacher. I became a teacher to make an impact in my community and thus inspire other young people to achieve their goals and aspirations. As a single mother of a 3-year-old boy, finding an affordable childcare center has been my biggest challenge until I found Kidango. However, due to COVID, my son is currently in distance learning because there are limited spots for children in the classroom. I've spent the last 3 years looking for a childcare center who would either offer my son a scholarship or helping pay for the cost. There were countless calls I made to these centers where I received responses such as, "Sorry, the tuition is what it is, and there's no aid to help you pay for the cost. Thank you for calling." When I called centers who offered support to low-income families, their response was that my earnings were higher than the limit. I either made too much or the cost of childcare was too high for me to afford it. This left me with much anguish. Upon my return from maternity leave, I had no other choice than to find a babysitter on my own. She cared for my son for 4 months until she could no longer watch him. I had a weekend to figure out who I was going to leave my baby with so that I could go back to work on Monday. I wept for the helpless situation I had found myself in. Memories quickly flashed my mind as I recalled 15 years prior to that moment, my mom was in the exact same situation. I couldn't imagine what I would do in this circumstance if I had more than one child, like my mom did. I'm here sharing my testimony because this has been my experience, but I know that there are plenty of other parents in worse situations. For example, my mother who had to look for family friends as babysitters to watch my siblings until they were old enough to reach the appropriate kindergarten age. My siblings went from babysitter to babysitter, which caused much distress to their emotional well-being. On the other hand, if I had the opportunity to enroll my child as an infant toddler, I would feel at peace knowing that my son was being taken care of at a facility where he was also learning. The consistency of taking him to a childcare center where I know he would be loved, taught, and cared for would relieve me from much unnecessary stress, let alone how significant and valuable of an educational experience this would have been for my son at such an early age. And what this would do for his academic success in the future is unimaginable. This is why expansion of infant childcare centers is very much needed in our community. As a teacher and a single mom, having to work full time, I am unable to fully support my son with his distance learning schooling. I would love for him to be in the classroom, but just as I mentioned before with COVID, there's limited space. Although I appreciate Kidango for allowing me to enroll my son, the cost of childcare needs to become more affordable and accessible for everyone, regardless of how much or how little earnings are. I have a profession, but my earnings are simply not enough to cover the cost of childcare and still afford to live in one of the most expensive places in California. I am making ends meet with what I can. I know that many other parents feel the same way. Thank you for allowing me to share my story.